You won't believe how quickly it happened. 5 days. That's it. I didn't expect much when I started, to be honest. I was just tired of forgetting things, names, faces, even why I walked into a room. You know that feeling? You're standing in the middle of your kitchen holding the fridge door open, but you have no idea why. Or you pick up the phone to call someone and then stare at it, completely blank. It's frustrating. It's scary. And worst of all, it makes you feel like you're slowly slipping away from the person you used to be. But what if I told you that something as simple as changing one part of your morning could light a spark in your mind again? That in just 5 days of eating one particular food every morning, my memory didn't just improve, it felt like it jumped back to life like magic. I'm not exaggerating. I remember details now that I would have forgotten a minute after hearing them before. My focus is sharper, I don't lose track of my thoughts as much, and I feel more like myself again, like the fog that used to hang over my brain has finally lifted to here's what we're diving into. The one morning food that can recharge your memory in just 5 days and why it works so fast. Plus, I'll share the exact way I prepare it, what to avoid so you don't cancel out its effects, and a few little bonus additions that supercharge it even more. Before we jump in, take a second to like this video and subscribe if you haven't yet. It helps us keep bringing you life-changing content that's actually useful and real, things that can make a difference for you and those you care about. Now, if you stick with me through this whole video, you're going to understand something powerful. You'll learn why your brain might feel slow right now and how it's not entirely your fault. You'll gain back a sense of control over your mind. And even better, you'll leave with a simple, delicious habit that might just bring your memory back in a way you didn't think was possible anymore. So let's talk about what's really going on in the aging brain, because this isn't just about forgetting where you put your glasses. It's about staying connected to life. Every time you can't recall someone's name or lose a memory that used to be crystal clear, it chips away at your confidence, your relationships, your sense of independence. That feeling of being left behind or feeling like you're becoming invisible, that's what makes memory loss so painful. But here's what most people don't know. Your brain isn't broken. It's starving. Starving for the right kind of fuel. You see, memory doesn't just disappear because we're getting older. It disappears because we stop giving our brain what it needs to regenerate and repair itself. And that's where this morning food comes in. It's something I ignored for years, thinking it was just another trendy health thing. But it turns out it's been used for centuries in traditional cultures, and modern science is only now catching up. I'm talking about a mix of two simple ingredients: omega-3 rich seeds and brain-boosting polyphenol, flax seeds, and blueberries. Yep, that's it. Nothing fancy. But the way you combine them, the time of day you eat them, and what you avoid eating with them is what makes all the difference. When you grind flax seeds fresh in the morning, even just a tablespoon, and add them to a bowl of fresh or frozen blueberries, something incredible happens inside your brain. Flax seeds are full of alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 that reduces brain inflammation, protects your neurons, and actually improves communication between brain cells. Blueberries, especially wild ones, are rich in anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that help repair oxidative damage and stimulate the parts of your brain responsible for memory and learning. Together, they form a kind of cognitive superfuel. I started with just this every morning, nothing else, no toast, no cereal, no eggs. Just a small bowl of blueberries topped with ground flax seeds. I added a splash of warm almond milk to soften it, and a tiny pinch of cinnamon for taste. That's it. Within 2 days, I started noticing that I wasn't losing my train of thought mid-sentence. By day 3, I could remember small things I usually forgot, like the neighbor's dog's name or the 4-digit code for my gate. And on the 5th morning, I had this moment where I recalled a memory from years ago, something small but vivid, like watching the rain through a window on my old job. It came back with such clarity, I literally teared up. You don't realize how much you're losing until you start to get it back. And that's the thing. This food isn't some miracle drug. It's a reminder of what your brain has always needed and probably hasn't been getting enough of. Most of us grow up thinking brain decline is inevitable. That memory loss is just part of aging, and there's nothing we can do about it. But that's simply not true. The science is clear. Your brain can regenerate. It can rewire. It can improve, but only if you give it the right support. And it doesn't take years, just days. That's the beauty of it. And once I realized that, I started diving deeper. I began pairing my morning bowl with a few mental exercises. Nothing too hard, just 5 minutes of word puzzles or memory games on my phone. Then I added a short 15-minute walk in the early sunlight. The combination of movement, nutrients, and mental stimulation worked like a charm. Within a week, I was remembering appointments without writing them down, recalling grocery lists, even staying more focused during conversations. People around me noticed. They said I seemed sharper, more present, more me again. And that's when I knew I had to share this, because if something so simple could bring such real change, then no one should be left in the dark about it. And let me tell you what not to do, because I made a few mistakes at first. Don't mix this memory-boosting bowl with heavy or sugary breakfast foods. If you eat it right after pancakes, it won't work the same way. Your brain doesn't need a blood sugar crash in the morning. It needs clean, powerful fuel. And please don't skip days in the beginning. Consistency is everything, especially during those first 5 days when your brain is starting to reboot. I also learned the hard way that whole flax seeds don't work. You need to grind them fresh each day so your body can absorb all the nutrients. Buy a small spice grinder. It takes 5 seconds and it makes all the difference. If you want to supercharge it even more, add a teaspoon of lion's mane mushroom powder. It's been shown to help regenerate brain cells and boost memory formation. Another optional boost is walnuts. Just a handful on the side can enhance your results that I know some of you might be thinking, I've tried everything and nothing has worked. I hear you. I felt the same way. But there's something powerful about giving your brain the right tools at the right time. It's not about taking a pill or chasing trends. It's about going back to the basics. Real food, real nutrients, real change. And once you start to feel the fog lift, even just a little, you'll want to keep going. Because your memory is more than just facts and dates. It's your identity. It's your relationships. It's your ability to tell your stories, to laugh at old jokes, to feel connected to who you are. Don't give up on it. And don't believe for a second that it's too late. 5 days. That's all it took for me to feel a difference. And it's only gotten better since. And what surprised me the most wasn't just how my brain felt sharper or that I was remembering where I left things, but that I started feeling emotionally lighter too. It's like when your mind starts clearing up, your heart follows. The mental clutter we carry from forgetfulness, from confusion, from constantly second-guessing ourselves, it weighs more than we realize. And when that fog lifts, even a little, suddenly conversations feel easier, reading becomes more enjoyable, and those small interactions in daily life start meaning something again. I found myself actually listening to the lyrics in songs I hadn't paid attention to in years, picking up the book I kept putting down, remembering the plot without rereading the last 3 pages. Even calling an old friend and remembering inside jokes from decades ago. That small bowl of food in the morning had created a ripple effect far beyond memory. It made me feel alive again, more myself, and less like I was fading into the background. What most people don't realize is that memory is the glue that holds our personalities together. Without it, we're just drifting. But with it, we stay rooted in who we are, no matter how many candles are on the birthday cake. The more days I stuck to the routine, the stronger it got. My sleep improved, my mood lifted, and I even found my motivation coming back. I wasn't dragging myself out of bed anymore. I was waking up curious about the day again. I added a few other brain-friendly habits, too, like sipping green tea instead of sugary drinks and breathing deeply in the morning sunlight before breakfast. But at the core of it all, it was still that simple combo: blueberries, ground flax seeds, and a little attention to how I started my day. There's something grounding about having a ritual that heals you. I started looking forward to it, not just for the taste, but for what it was doing to my mind. I even began journaling tiny things I remembered that day, memories that popped up or names that came back. And watching that list grow was more fulfilling than I expected. One morning, I remembered a conversation I had with my daughter 10 years ago, clear as day, down to what we were both wearing. I hadn't thought about it in forever, but there it was, vivid and full of feeling. I wrote it down and shared it with her. She was amazed and touched. That one moment of connection wouldn't have happened if I had stayed stuck in that fog. And if I can have that moment, so can you. That's what keeps me excited to share this, because this isn't about a magical cure. It's about realizing your brain still works, it just needs proper care. Most of us grew up being told aging meant decline. But what if it's not decline, it's deficiency? What if our brains had just been running on empty because we never knew what fuel they really needed? When I made this one change, the results weren't subtle, they were life-changing. And I didn't need expensive supplements, endless prescriptions, or complicated regimens. Just consistency, natural food, and a commitment to show up for myself every morning. That's the part no one talks about. How showing up for yourself in the smallest ways builds self-trust again. Every spoonful felt like I was telling myself, I care about you. And when your body and mind start to believe that, everything shifts. Even now, weeks later, I've stuck to it. It's not a 5-day miracle and then back to the old ways. It's a 5-day ignition. After that, you want to keep going because the results speak for themselves. You'll notice you're more alert in conversations. You'll feel more engaged when watching TV or reading. You'll start catching those little details you used to miss. And that builds a new kind of confidence, the kind that doesn't come from looking younger, but from knowing your mind is still vibrant and alive. I wish I had known this earlier, before I spent years thinking I was just getting old and had to accept the slow decline. But I know now that's not true. Your brain can surprise you. It can bounce back. It can heal. The question is, will you give it the chance? Will you try something so simple yet powerful just for 5 days? Because that's all it took to turn everything around for me. I remember now, not just facts and tasks, but memories that matter, moments that shape who I am. And every time I remember something clearly, I feel like I'm reclaiming a piece of myself that I thought was gone forever. You deserve that too. You deserve to wake up and feel sharp, focused, connected to your world. Don't underestimate the power of a single morning habit. It might just bring back more than memory. It might bring back joy. And the beauty of it is that you don't have to uproot your entire life to get these results. No expensive programs, no overwhelming routines, no confusing charts or extreme diets. Just a few small tweaks, beginning with that first bowl every morning, and it sets a tone for your whole day, your whole week, maybe your whole outlook on aging. Once I experienced it for myself, I started sharing it with a few close friends, some in their 60s, others well into their 80s, all of them struggling in different ways with memory lapses, mental fatigue, or just that heavy brain fog that makes even simple tasks feel exhausting. Some were skeptical. Others were desperate for anything that might help. But those who actually gave it an honest 5 days, they all came back and said the same thing. I didn't know how much I was missing until I started feeling like myself again. That right there, that sentence, it says it all. Because memory isn't just about remembering birthdays or finding your car keys. It's about being in touch with your identity, your timeline, your emotional connections. When your memory fades, you feel like pieces of your life are falling through the cracks. But when it comes back, even just a little, it's like recovering lost treasure. And I noticed something else too. With this change came a domino effect. People started sleeping better because their minds weren't buzzing with confusion at night. They had more energy during the day because their brains weren't stuck in a low power mode. They laughed more, socialized more, and even got interested in hobbies they'd forgotten about. One friend picked up painting again. Another started journaling her life stories for her grandkids. One even started learning Italian at 78. I'm telling you, this goes way beyond food. It's about unlocking parts of yourself that you thought were gone. And it all begins with something as humble as a bowl of fruit and seeds in the morning, but there's something special about the way our bodies respond to routine. When you give it something consistent and nourishing, it begins to trust you again. And in return, it gives back clarity, energy, and focus. That's why I always say don't skip a day in those first 5. Those are the days where your brain is rebuilding the foundations. It's subtle but powerful. You might not notice a massive shift right away, but by day 3 or 4, something just clicks. A name that usually slips your mind comes effortlessly. A detail in a movie sticks with you. You remember a phone number without looking it up. These are the signs that your brain is coming back online. And let me just say, there's no age limit on feeling sharp. I've met people in their 90s who are mentally quicker than folks in their 40s, and it always comes down to how they take care of their minds. Genetics matter, sure, but lifestyle? That's the game changer. And breakfast, specifically what you feed your brain first thing in the morning, sets the stage. Most breakfast people eat today are loaded with sugar, refined carbs, and processed oils. That's not brain food. That's brain fog in a bowl. But when you flip that and start your day with antioxidants, healthy fats, and brain-supporting nutrients, it's like giving your mind a morning power-up. Think of it like watering a plant. You don't wait until it's shriveled and brown to care for it. You water it daily, gently, and consistently, and it flourishes. Your brain is the same. And if you've already been feeling the effects of age on your memory, then this is even more important for you. Because it means your brain is sending you a signal, not a sign of defeat, but a plea for better care. And this is your opportunity to respond. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to overhaul your entire pantry or memorize scientific studies. You just need to start. One meal, one bowl, 5 days. That's all it takes to begin seeing the light come back on. And if it worked for me, after years of struggle, it can work for you too. I still remember the exact moment when I realized my memory was truly shifting. I was having coffee with a friend, and we were talking about a trip we took over 20 years ago. Out of nowhere, I remembered the name of the hotel we stayed in, the waiter who served us, even the name of the song playing in the background. I hadn't thought about that trip in years, but suddenly it all came flooding back like a dam breaking open. And I felt this rush of joy, like I'd unlocked a forgotten room in my mind. That's what this does. It opens doors you thought were permanently closed. It brings color back to your memories, clarity back to your thinking, and hope back to your heart. And maybe, just maybe, it's a reminder that aging isn't a curse. It's just a new chapter. And with the right support, it could be a chapter filled with light, strength, and even growth. So give yourself those 5 days. Be consistent, be curious, and pay attention to how you feel, not just mentally, but emotionally too. Because when your mind starts to thrive again, so does your spirit. And that's something no one should ever give up on.